So you clearly been on a bit of a journey. What are some of the resources that you found most helpful for you along the way of sort of upping your money game over the years?
Number one goal for me, tool for me is just other experts. Like when you don't know, ask, and don't, again, something that I learned the hard way, like you don't have to be the expert in absolutely everything. In fact, you don't want to be. You want to leave that to other people. So if you don't know and you're not 100% sure, ask. And if you don't get the response that you're expecting, and what I mean by that, if someone doesn't want to help you, that means that's more about them than it is about you. Like, move on. That person's not for you. So absolutely, like, use the people around you, regardless of whether you're in the industry or not as well. So even for those within your industry, it's use the people there. Like, there are so many fish in the sea. We're not there to poach each other's clients. Like, you and I will resonate, but you and the next person may not. And, there'll be someone out there for them as well. So the more open you can be to absorbing stuff, I think the better that it is, like the more beneficial for you and then your people or your audience, whoever it is that you're working with. And then second to that is, like, just use your tools. Like I said, I've been lucky enough to move through the finance industry and have so many different experiences with different people and different businesses and those types of things, and just looking at the different tools that people use to help support their journeys. And again, like, it comes back to what we said at the beginning around clarity. Like, get really clear around what you're trying to achieve, and then what are the tools that are out there that are going to support you to be able to do that in the best way possible. And I guess I'm probably a little bit risk averse. I know there are people who jump in a lot earlier than me, but don't jump on the first thing, but also don't procrastinate. You have to, like, action is what needs to happen. So absorb what you can, look at the options that are out there, and then make a decision and move forward. There's no, like, it's not right or wrong. You just learn and move on.
That's right. Yeah. And I think you can have a plan and then choose to do nothing as a result of going through a planning process as well. Like, whether it's an investment plan or a career plan or whatever the things are, if you've got an idea, that it's very valid to explore the idea to the point that you can make an informed decision, instead of just, to your point on procrastination, it's like, you can think about it, but then just think that thinking through, because if you choose to do nothing at the end, that means that that's the right thing for you to do if you'd explored it properly, as opposed to just thinking, oh, I should do that. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm scared. No, I won't do anything, or maybe, or I'll put it off. And then it's just, you've just got this constant sort of baggage that you're carrying around, and then it impacts and drags away from some of the other areas. And I think, to your point around, there are so many different approaches and resources that you can use, and people do it all a different way. So if you've got someone, I think for people that want to get support, whether that's support from like an individual like yourself, or a financial advisor, or whether it's education from an online provider, or some sort of media forum or whatever, that you've got to find a message that resonates with you, because then you're going to be able to get behind it. It's not, you don't want to go to someone and go, oh, they're the guru, so I should listen to them. But if the message doesn't click, you're going to be heaps less likely to follow it through. Whereas if you find a message that you can get behind, then you can back that. And I think sometimes don't realize that there are a lot of different ways to be right.
Yes. And because there's no one size fits all. Like, what works for you won't necessarily work for me. And, half of it will work for the next person, and then part of it will work for the one after that. Like, absolutely, you take what you need, because the thing is, each individual is very different. And it's the same, a lot of the coaching work that I do, we use a lot of neuroscience with it, because no two brains are built the same. It's the same as your fingerprints. Every single brain is different. And if we tried to do the exact same thing over and over again, you'd get some people, blowing the lights out, and then other people dragging their tail. And that's not necessarily a good benchmark, or, a result for showing who worked really hard or who did their best type of thing. So absolutely, like, it's one of those things. You've got to take into consideration what's going on in your life and everything around you and do what you can with what you got. I mean, I know, look, we're going through a global pandemic at the moment. My personal situation changed 2 years ago. I had to make a decision about 18 months ago what I was actually going to focus on in my life. And I decided I was just going to focus on the clients that I had and being a good partner and mother. And, you know, out of that, throughout a global pandemic, I actually had one of the best financial years I've ever had for my business. And I did no marketing or advertising whatsoever. Now, I'm not saying that we should do no marketing or advertising. Absolutely, I know the importance of that. But it just wasn't something that I was going to be able to put my energy into. I just needed to make sure I was providing for my family. And I've done that better than I have in many, many years. And so all that says to me is, wow, imagine what I could do if I now focused on other things.